They want to see different things.
I open up a newspaper or I turn on the news, all I hear about is tax reform, tax reform, tax reform. You know, the president wants it, Paul Ryan wants it. How we're going to get it seems to be the issue. For people who are preparing their taxes right now, and maybe even next year, it doesn't affect them.
It doesn't, but it has an effect on people because we're asked all the time. This is about last year, so it does not have any effect, and I think it's important for people to understand that. There is rhetoric, there is noise, there is proposals, but that has no bearing on the taxes you have to file this year.
I have to ask you, we're on the verge here of what could be tax reform, the most meaningful tax reform since 1986. Tell me a little bit about what you think would be wise in tax reform. What are you hearing in your industry about what we should do?
The president's right. We should reform the tax code. I think that there is ways that we can streamline the tax code. Simple example I often give, there's 5 different definitions of a child in the tax code. And frankly, we have to train our people on this, on those different
Really?
pieces.
5 different definitions of a child?
Yes. And the burden on small businesses is even higher than on individuals. I think there are some common sense solutions to that. You know, we know a lot about this area. We've pledged to help with Congress, with the president and his team.
Are you confident that, you know, in the next couple of years, I will be able to file a much simpler form?
I think it would be foolish, frankly, to go all the way to the postage stamp or whatever is talked about often, because there are so many nuances to the tax code. I think there are ways that you have to step your way toward more simplification. But I think we can make it simpler both for us as tax preparers and for you as an individual.
Give me an example.
An example would be the alternative minimum tax. It's almost a second version of a tax return, and it has not been changed in terms of the amount of money, the amount of income that you have. This is something that probably shouldn't be part of the tax code.
It's ironic in a way that the person who's the biggest champion right now of tax reform is somebody who won't let us see his own tax returns. What would his tax returns show? I mean, he's told us again and he's not going to show them. He's under audit. What would a real estate developer, what would be in those pages?
I'm not going there, Christine. I have no idea, and I have no access to it. We are very, very clear in protecting everyone's personal identity, so I never talk about anyone's individual tax return.
Good for you. Well done.